EduMoon. Hello everyone, welcome to EduMoon. Today we are going to introduce you a person who have run Discord communities over 50k plus members, and he has turned from a doctor to a community building head of community in scenes, and he has done many odd jobs, and he has done different jobs in his life. Now we are going to introduce Dr. Elson Joy to EduMoon stage. Can you, Vikas? Can you introduce Elson? Hi, Elson. How are you?
Hi, Mahir. I'm really well.
Hi.
I'm in the. I'm actually in a cafe right now. Uh,
Yeah.
but the session sounded really interesting, so I couldn't miss it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
looking
you so
forward to
much for
this.
attending, even though you are in different situation now. So,
No, for
can you
sure, for
introduce
sure.
yourself for our audience who don't know about us?
Sure. Should we wait, Gus, or should I go ahead?
Yeah, we can go ahead. It's on live.
Awesome. So, hey guys, welcome to this wonderful session by EduMoon. My connection with EduMoon is through Mahidar. So, Mahidar and I, we know each other because we're part of this online community. And that community is what we're going to be discussing today a little bit about. It's the Avalon community. So, a little bit background about myself. I'm 26 years old. I am a graduate dentist. Um, my, I graduated from Manipal University. Uh, so Mahidar mentioned something about having odd jobs, right? So I'll probably mention a little bit about that because that's the elephant in the room most people ask about. So I've had around 9 different jobs while I was in college itself. I was working at a restaurant like this one right here. So I was working at Pizza Hut as a waiter. From then, I went on to work as a carpenter. I worked around 3 months in JW Marriott as a line cook, which is a buffet chef. Then I ran a backpacker hostel once I was done with my graduation. This is back in Kerala. So Kerala is my hometown. So I was born and brought up in Abu Dhabi. So I spent the first 18 years there. Then went to Manipal for my graduation. Then came to Kerala. Spent 1 year while I was preparing for my masters. That's when I ran a small backpacker hostel. So I put it up on Airbnb and Booking.com. And fortunately, like it was a really beautiful experience. During that experience, you need to learn a lot of things because it's a one-man show. Right? You have to be the owner, you have to be the manager, you have to be the host. You also have to be the plumber and the carpenter. So for that, I had picked up a little bit of carpentry. Uh, then I did a short stint at a bike mechanic because I've always loved bikes. Um, yeah, but now I want to delve into. So those are the odd jobs. From there, the current job that I'm currently doing is I'm working at a pre-series A funded startup here in Bangalore. It's called Scenes Avalon, Scenes by Avalon. At Scenes by Avalon, I'm part of the core team, and it's a community building platform. So that's why it's called Scenes, right? So you guys know like what scene, what is your scene this weekend, or kya scene hai. So in that sense, we're building a community building platform, and at this startup, I'm working as the head of community. I also usually come live on YouTube every now and then. So we had a channel called Avalon Meta Live. Today a bunch of the team, we're all content creators. So create a little bit of content on my personal YouTube as well. So that's what I'm doing. That's a quick intro. I know it's a little too much to process, but uh, yeah.
It's so inspiring story actually. Like it's a roller coaster. Like you have done many jobs, and you have got so much of experience doing all that, right? And
Yeah.
like we want to know about mostly
And
about.
it's beautiful. Like all of these jobs, all of these jobs, they have helped me in my current job as well. Most people will be like,
Yes.
how does carpentry help? Or how does
Mm.
dentistry help you? But somehow you once you learn one skill, you start to realize like all of these jobs are the same. And in essence, right? And you can use a lot of the principles there. But I don't want to delve too much about that. Maybe we'll do that in a future session.
Yeah.
But yeah, Maida, you were asking some questions.
Yeah, I'm asking about how is your experience in conducting a 50k plus Discord community while in Avalon days? Like, how was that experience?
Right.
Like, what did you learn from that? And all?
So I'll have to give you a little bit of background about what Avalon did. So Avalon did always start off as a community building platform, right? In the past, we were something called as Avalon Meta. With Avalon Meta, so like I mentioned, most of the team, we are all content creators. So we started putting out content on YouTube. right? And today, both of the co-founders have around 50k 50 to 60 plus, 60,000 plus subscribers on YouTube, on Instagram as well. Our group channel itself has around 40k. So overall, like we had, including Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, etc., more than half a million following, right? So with this following, we realized like, and all of the things that we were doing with this community or audience as such back then is we were providing free content, right? One of the things that we felt was that the Indian education system is slightly broken, if you think about it, right? A lot of the skills that you learn in college may not really help you in your first job. I know this is probably not the best place to tell you guys because you're all college students as well. But it's something that we also felt, right? There's a
No, it's
there's a
true.
huge gap there's a gap in what you learn in college and what you need in the job market. So we wanted to fill in that gap. So that's why we bought in Avalon Meta. We were doing free courses. We were putting out videos on this app. It was called Avalon Meta, right? The app. So that is like a library, right? You can go and consume whenever you want. Then what we had is like your college tuition where you actually meet a teacher. So this we were doing it on a platform called Discord. So we were doing it on Discord, and over here we were calling it Pro Leagues, right? So where you become a professional. So with the Pro Leagues, that was like your college tuition. So you had your library, then you had your proper interaction with your teachers. Now, what is the third thing that is missing for college is your actual campus, right? So the actual campus was also connected on Discord, and we call it the Avalon Meta Virtual Campus. Cool. Feel free to interrupt me if you guys are getting any
That's awesome.
confusion. But yeah, we
Like
had a
we were
library, we
also
had your college tuition, and we had the campus. These are the three things. I
super.
think Mahindra, you might have been a part of that, right?
Yeah, I've been part of that, and I've been part of Discord as well as the Pro Leagues, and I have learned so
Yeah.
much, and I've been skillful, and I was able to these Pro Leagues have helped me in EduMoon also. We started EduMoon with the same motto to educate students and all. So I think we were on the same line
Perfect.
and with this.
Yeah, and that's how I got into the community space. So the first
Yes.
pro league that we conducted, that was called the marketing
Mhm.
pro league, and we were just it was not even called the pro league back then. It was just called the beta marketing mentorship. Now in this
Mhm.
mentorship program, we decided like obviously you need a teacher or a professor, but we also need a community manager, right? Who is there to help, who is there. And I used to also do sessions. So I was doubling down both as a professor and also the TA or the teaching assistant. So I would do some lectures, but I would also help with keeping the community engaged, doing their tasks, engaging with them, giving them exercises, having competitions, etc. So that was a small community. That was around 50k members. I'm sorry, 150 members. So it was a very small knit group. But we wanted to replicate what we had with this beta marketing mentorship on a larger scale. And that's when we started getting more and more people into our main Discord. Then we reached the scale of around 50k members on Discord, and we became one of India's largest Discord communities. We raised our first round of funding and a P-Series A from some big names like Gaurav Bujjal from Art Academy, Kunal Shah from Cred, some content creators like Tanmay Bhatt, Raj Shamani, etc. as well. So that's how I got into the space. So the first community that we had was our small Pro League community. Then I ended up being the community head of the large Discord community as well. So every day we would have sessions, have speakers come in, like something like this, something exactly like what we'll be doing right here. I would be hosting them. We would have competition. We would have topic of the days. We would have like actual fests, like what do you do on a college fest. We actually had a
Yeah.
college fest. We had rap battles, we had quizzes, we had debates. Uh, I had this character where I used to wear shades and I would come and do the quiz show. But yeah, beautiful experience, wonderful time. So that's my foray into the entire community space.
So there are many communities, in the many communities apps as well in the market. So we are very different from all those community apps, or else who call them as community apps. So can you explain us, like we are into EduMoon is on scenes right now. So
Okay.
can you
Yeah.
explain how different is scenes from other platforms that we have in the world?
I mean, every day I think new platforms are coming up. Some of the
Hmm.
old ones that you guys probably know, one is probably Slack, one is Discord.
Yeah.
Maybe you guys know Facebook groups. Some people are using Telegram groups and WhatsApp groups also as the community platforms. But
Yeah.
to be honest, none of these. The big differentiator between Scenes and all of them is that Scenes was community first, right? For
True.
example, let me just give you a few examples. Take the example of Slack, right? So Slack started off, if you go through the history of Wikipedia, it started off as a game. Then the builders of this game were using Slack as a workplace tool to, share emails, etc. Eventually, they found out that the game is not working out, and that the email platform is the one that's actually working. So Slack is a workspace tool. In fact, if you go through the, for example, on Nasdaq, Slack is the ticker, which is the code of Slack in the Nasdaq is actually called work, WORK. So Slack essentially is a workplace tool. Even if you see like the communities are called workspaces, your the members are called team members. So everything is related to work. But Slack obviously has the same feature. If you look at it, all of these platforms they're the same. A Facebook group, a Discord, or Telegram, or WhatsApp, they all look the same. They have channels. You
Yes,
have
exactly.
text. You have. So the difference comes in this packaging. So, for example, Slack's packaging is work or email replacement. Even the CEO has come out and told that we just want to replace email.
Yeah.
The second platform problem that you guys have is Discord. Now with Discord, again, the story is quite different. They started out as it's like this wonderful place where people can come in and while they're gaming, they can interact with each other. So it was a streaming
Yeah.
platform. In fact, when we used Discord as our community platform, it was still called a place for gamers to stream, right?
Yeah.
And it was
True.
only during this pandemic is when you had the sudden spike,
But
right? There was a spike because we couldn't interact with each other offline. Like today, obviously, we're all here and a lot of like I'm in the setting and we can interact online, offline. But during the pandemic, we couldn't do that. So then Discord found this opportunity there, and so they realized, hey, why not pivot to a community platform? So then they started calling it imagining a place and communities, etc. But the problem with Discord example, let me give you this small story, right? Imagine you have this nice
yeah.
bungalow, okay, nice villa in your Chennai or whatever. Now in Chennai, you have this beautiful bungalow, and now you have to go and buy furniture, right? So you go to this
Huh.
nearest home center or IKEA or something, and you buy all this big furniture. You're like, let me buy the biggest bed, let me buy the biggest almirah, let me buy the biggest table, dining table, everything, because you have a lot of space, right? But then suddenly they're like, okay, now what you need, you also need an apartment. But in this apartment, you have to carry out all the features that you have in this bungalow also. So now you have to take this big dining table and put it into this apartment, big bed, etc. So everything is very congested. So the first time when someone enters this apartment, they're just confused.
Yeah.
That's the same example of Discord because it was built for web first. Because everyone games where on your PC,
Yes.
right? So when you're gaming on PC, it was built
True.
for
True.
a desktop. So they went out and they built all of these extra features. But then when they had to shift to a mobile platform, it did work out. Right? So that's the reason that most people
True.
say that Discord's overwhelming. I get very confused by using it. I'm not being able to understand. Now Discord also has another problem because most of the users are anonymous, right? And because users are anonymous,
Yeah.
there are things like raids. People can do raids. People can try and hack your platforms. In fact, that happened with me when we were running our Discord. It had 50K members, and I still
Hmm.
remember the date. It was November 17th. Someone exploited a webhook integration on our
Okay.
platform,
What happened
and they
that day?
started spamming. They started putting NSFW content. So they were just posting really bad comments. And that day we had around
Okay.
100 people muting the server. Uh, so yeah, we've gone through the highs and lows of Discord.
Okay.
Both the UI UX problem, this webhook or raids that happen. So the problem with us, like unlike like we were a business also, right? So we were investing in getting people onto the platform. We were running ads. So when you were imagine you're running ads to a platform, they come in there, but they get scared and they just leave, right? So which is really bad as a business. So that's also one of the reasons that a lot of our
True.
investors told us instead of doing that, why not build your own platform because you guys know what to do and you can not just provide. So with Seeds, what we're doing
True.
is we're not just giving the platform, but we are also helping you with setting things
I
up,
think you're.
giving us all the expertise that we have.
Hmm.
Am I stuck? Is it better?
Yeah. Now it's okay. You can continue.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we were
So
on
with Seeds, what we're
investors team.
trying to
Yeah.
do. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, our investors told us, because you're already good at doing community building, why not do that? So we built both the platform. So it's platform plus the expertise, right? So right now, guys, for example, Mahinder or anyone from the team, you guys have access to the core team. Imagine having like
Yeah.
your profile on Instagram or Discord, but also having the CEO in your contact book. right? You can also reach out to the
Yes.
Mark Zuckerberg or the anniversary. So that's what we're doing here with Scenes. We want to help more and more people grow their communities. Uh, but yeah, early days, it's just been a couple of, I mean, 4 5 months right now, and we are seeing really good growth. Super excited for what we are doing there.
In the before version, it used to be an audio version, right? Like how we changed from audio version to the features that we have are so vast. So can you explain from
Yeah,
the version one to the version two,
right.
like the
So
features that we have?
we started off by building the audio channel, which is your stage. Okay, it's called the stage channel. And the reason we started off with the audio channel is it's because it's one of the hardest things to build, right? Audio and video are the hardest things to build because there are a lot of things. It might just look like it's just a video there, but there when you're trying to scale the room, because like we have had events with more than 5,000, 10,000 people in one stage, and when something like that
Yeah.
happens, the app can crash. So that's the reason that we decided to build the stage first. So let me just give you a brief on what are the different channels that we have. So number one is your stage channel. That's like your clubhouse, right? Or your Twitter spaces,
Mm.
right? It's audio only. And you can come in and you can have like your live podcast there. Now, so that's very simple. For example, if someone is, I mean, if for example, I didn't want to show my face or either didn't want to show his face, so you can just switch it off and have an audio only conversation. And with stage,
Mm.
what we're trying to do is imagine you have like an event, like a networking event. After that, there's this place where you interact with this person and you talk to him freely, right? For example, in this session, we are a lot more, slightly more professional, right? Because it's going on
Yeah.
YouTube, etc. Whereas with an audio only channel, you can be a lot more free, right? It's just like talking with a bunch of people together. So that's what we wanted to do. It's like you can do these sessions when you're going out, when you're going grocery shopping, when you're going to the gym. You don't have to worry about your video, right? So that's the
True.
audio channel. Now the second channel that we have is your video channel. So with this same audio channel, you can switch on the video and you can have something like this, right? You can
Yeah.
legit have this session on Scenes itself.
On Teams.
So that's like an Instagram live, right? It's like your Instagram live. So
Mm.
I'm giving you examples so that it's relatable. So you have Clubhouse, Twitter Spaces, you have Instagram live. These are the two sessions that you can have live. Now, additionally, another
Yes.
thing that we have is, for example, this session, like we are doing it on StreamYard. You guys are watching it on YouTube. Maybe we had a Google
Yeah.
Calendar sent to me. Like I had a Google Calendar sent. All of these are different places, right? We have a inbuilt calendar system also. So, for example, if you're hosting a bunch of sessions, you can set up the event calendar itself, and all these people who wanted to say attend this event, they can set a reminder for. So
Yeah.
that's the third channel that which is your inbuilt calendar and reminder system. The fourth channel that we have is like your WhatsApp Telegram groups. So I think you guys use WhatsApp and Telegram. So very similarly,
Yeah.
we have a chat system which is like WhatsApp and Telegram. The fifth channel that we have is your forums. Your forums is like
Then,
your
yeah.
Reddit, or for example, your Quora, or what do you guys use? You guys are all coders, so you guys might know Stack Overflow, right?
Yeah.
So basically,
You
you
know
can add
Quora. Yeah.
Reddit.
That's
Yeah.
what.
So difference between Telegram, WhatsApp, and Quora is because you can have multiple conversations happening at the same page, right? For example, on Telegram, WhatsApp, it'll just be one conversation, and if someone speaks in between, it gets confusing.
Mm.
Whereas with Quora, you can have like one
Yes.
question, you can have another question, you can have a third question. Additionally, you can also put up like job boards, right? You can post, hey, we have a job, this is the requirements, and people can apply for it. So we have this also.
Yeah.
That's like even your LinkedIn has
And
forums,
video
right?
channel.
Like you're on your feed.
Mm.
Yeah. So now what did I cover? I covered audio channel, video, I
We have
covered
video channel as
calendar,
well.
forum, and text. Okay, another really cool channel that I think all of you will really love is something called Gather. It's actually called Spatial Audio.
Yeah.
So that was inspired by this platform called Gather.town. So Gather.town is a separate company. Okay, they're a separate company that's backed by Sequoia. What we did is we kind of replicated that same feature within our own app, and that is where we have host our office meetings, right? So this is where we
Yeah.
actually do our offices. So Gather is this. It
Even
looks
we use that.
I want to, yeah. If you guys can go on, like you can check out Gather.town itself, or even the Scenes website. You will see what it looks like. It looks like a Pokemon, place, your Pokemon environment, and you have these small characters. You can walk next to him. So, for example, me and Mahidar are on the same Gather or on the same spatial audio channel. I can walk next to him. I can give him a ring, and I can immediately have a conversation with him. So that's a really
Yeah.
cool channel. In fact, that channel was built on Unity. You should definitely check it out. It's called Spatial Audio. What are the other channels that we have? Okay, yeah, we have an
Media
Inbuilt
channel.
Point system. Yeah, we have a
Yeah.
media channel
Like,
also. So the media channel is essentially a place where you can put up blogs, you can put up newsletters, you can put up your YouTube playlist, everything in one place, right? It's a rich text editor, so you can have what kind of content you want. The next channel is the coins. So coins is not a channel; it's a feature. So coins is
yeah.
it's how you gamify a community, right? So communities essentially you need to it's communication plus status. That's what a community is. So, for example, a really good member in the community will get a special role, right, or a special permission, and we give people special roles and permissions based on different, how much coins they have. You can do something like that. So these are called community coins. We can name them whatever we want. Eventually, we'll probably have a shop feature, so you'll probably be able to use these coins and buy your own merchandise. For example, with Avalon, what we did in the past is in the virtual campus, we used to give something called Ava coins. That was our community coin, and people who had around 10,000 community coins, they would be able to buy a free T-shirt, right? And we would ship
Yeah.
it to them. So that's another way we can gamify a community. So community coins, the spatial audio, media resources channel. Yeah, there are a lot of things. In fact, in the past, we also
Yeah.
had like a chess, right, where you could have some games
Yes.
as
Yes.
well. So every day, like we're learning something new. We want to help. The assets that we're trying to build is, as we're all community builders ourselves. We're not just business owners or entrepreneurs. We are also community builders and content creators as well. So we want to build a platform that we want to use. Uh, so yeah,
Yes. Exactly. So we have every channel that we name, like video, voice, text, forums, media, resources, whatever it is. Like we use so many apps daily, like Instagram, Zoom, Google Meet, like calendar and all. Scenes is an app where
exactly.
we can use every app in one app, like all in one platform
Yeah,
for community building.
yep, exactly.
Awesome.
You got it on point.
Yes. So we created a EduMoon scene channel. I'll just explain about what are the channels available there, so how they can use and all. We have given the description link in the YouTube itself. So whoever is watching or whoever is watching afterwards, just click on that link, and you'll be able to see different kinds of channels as well as resources, where you'll be having skill-based channels like design, marketing, sales, and finance as well. And we have also college clubs, and we are very active in dance, sports, and English clubs as well. So in that we'll be having events both related to education as well as culturals also. And then we have an English club where we are trying to bring our students, and so many of them as of us face so much difficulty while speaking in interviews, like us, like me, yeah, now I am facing, right? So we want to clear this out by bringing them daily to on scenes, and we'll be talking to each other in English for a half an hour, like that. So that will increase our communication skills. And we will be providing resources to all of our students to in the resources section. And whatever job opportunities or internship opportunities that we know, we'll be posting there, and they'll be able to easily coordinate with each other. And whoever have the access to the channels, if you join the link now, you'll be having the access, and we are giving a free EduMoon t-shirt as well as a data science course whoever joins our EduMoon scene today. So this is how we are planning out, and we'll be doing many more events, like bringing guests like Elson Joy and many other guests. Yesterday we spoke with Tanay Pratap, and he also agreed us to come on the session. So we'll be planning big celebrities, like big influencers like Tanay Pratap, who is working in who worked in Microsoft, and he has built Music Camp, and we all I met Varun Maya as well yesterday. So there are many people who are very skilled that are there in the world, but we don't know, but we don't have so much of exposure. So we are bringing all our like we I have so much friends in 10K as well as Marketing Pro League, who are doing internships and jobs as well. So we'll be bringing these guests, and as well as the like professors, or else the who are skillful, like Varun Maya and Tanay Pratap. And this is how we are planning the scenes community, so that it will be useful for all our student community who are watching now.
I mean, that sounds awesome. It reminds me of number one. It reminds me of our Discord, the community,
Yeah,
but it also reminds me of college. I really wish I was part of EduMoon and your college right now. I mean, these kind of college clubs, those are the best times in your life, right?
yes, yes,
And
exactly.
like I mentioned, like when we were doing our college clubs, like the only speakers that we could get were the speakers within the campus. But now that you
Yeah,
have like an online community, like something like EduMoon, like you could be in any part of the country, any part of the world, and get speakers from all across. So I'm like super
exactly.
excited. I'll probably hop in as a audience in one of your sessions as well. Uh, but yeah, good kudos to
You
all of
want
you
you as a
guys.
guest as well?
Congrats on what you're doing. It's really good. Yeah, yeah. I'll come in as an
Thank you.
audience. Looking forward.
Sure,
Awesome.
also. So, do you want to say anything more about audience? And we have Dr. Anson Joy's YouTube channel in the description as well. So,
Yeah.
whoever is watching now, if you want to know about community building or else his life in depth, just click subscribe, and you'll be having awesome videos. And he's releasing videos thoroughly
Yeah.
since a few days. So, he's very active on it. So, you'll be seeing many videos.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. So, yeah, like as a community, like if I'm the head of community, like one of the things that I need to know, obviously, is the pain points of a creator or a community builder, right? So for the same reason is why I started creating a lot of content. So, and when you're creating content, like what you guys are doing is brilliant, right? And it's not about having 1 lakh followers or 2 lakh whatever. Uh, what we've realized is smaller creators, in fact, have more powerful communities, right? If you look like
Yeah.
the average that we see with a YouTube community or a YouTube platform audience is that if you have say 1 lakh subscribers, your videos is will generally bring a viewership of 1/5, right, which is 20%. Uh,
Okay.
Whereas if you are a smaller creator with say anywhere between 100 to 1,000 subscribers, you have a much more loyal community because communities are
Okay.
it's the way you handle say 0 to 5 is different from how you handle 0 to 100, different from 100 to 1,000, which is different from 1,000 to a million, right? So this the way. So I realized like I needed to know all of this. So we started putting out content on YouTube, on Instagram, on Twitter, etc. The entire team, like pretty much everyone in the core team, we're all content creators. So
Yeah.
yeah, looking forward to interacting with all of you as well there. Um, that's about it. Thank you so much for having me, Maida, and the entire Attitude
Thank
team.
you so much. Arvind.
Looking forward to having you guys and interacting with you all in the future as well.
Sure, sure. Can you guide us on scenes like how we can build a community more effectively? Is there anything that I should learn from you to build a community on scenes?
See, the one thing that I would say with community building for a long time, it will feel like there's a lot of you're putting in a lot of effort, and are you getting it the right results immediately, right? Because, for example, you might have a marketing background, right? And in marketing and community is very different. Like in the past, community was essentially a marketing campaign, but today community is
Yeah.
beyond that, right? And the big difference between say marketing and community is that in marketing is very straightforward. Like I put in this much ads budget, and I want to see this much in terms of ROI, right? What is my ROAS? How many people are clicking on my campaign, etc. So you know that, and you start looking at it like I put in this much, this is how much I get. Is it a good campaign? Whereas with community, it's very different, right? It's like imagine having like your college club. You don't necessarily take things, right? It's a lot about giving, 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 right? And for a long time, it's going to feel that way as well. But I give the example of digging a well versus opening a tap, right? Opening a tap is very straightforward, right? You open the tap and you get immediately you'll get your water in your glass. Whereas with community, you have to, for a long time, you're just digging, digging, digging without seeing any glimpse of water. But one day, once you see
Yeah.
water, it won't stop, right? It's like
Yeah.
a endless supply of water. So that's the example of community and versus marketing, etc. And that's what we also learned. Like we wouldn't be where we are today without our Avalon community.
That's a great
Some tips that
example.
I can give you all is all of you take up the role. Like obviously there are presidents, there might be vice presidents, but there is a role for everyone, right? See how you can contribute in your best way, because And you can always have different roles within the community. Like within our community, we had people called administrators. We had people called OG Avalonians, right? We had people called early Avalonians. We had people called police. We had people called senior administrators. All kinds of roles that you can have. And now you might ask, is this going to help me with my career? Community building is one of the most fast pace, right? That's completely different. But even if you look at it, all the fan companies, right? They all are calling themselves community platforms today. Facebook calls itself the ultimate community platform as well, right? They're like, we want to help connect people to the power of communities. Uh, YouTube, it has an entire community feature, which is Google, right? And Google's all platforms. In fact, WhatsApp recently launched a community feature. So very soon you'll start seeing community feature even on WhatsApp. So I mean, all platforms are getting into community space. In fact, being a community manager, there's no better time today than it was before. In the past, community managers were just social media managers, but today community managers are also. It's like your own startup, right? And it's a great place for you to get that understanding of how to run a team, how to release a product, how to engage with your customers. In fact, the Airbnb is the founder of Airbnb, Brian Chesky. He calls himself the head of community, right? So he doesn't call himself just the
Yeah,
CEO. He calls himself the head of community even before he calls himself the CEO. So it's a great place to
that's
be.
awesome.
If you can get into the metaverse NFT space, every project in NFTs has three people. Okay, number one is your designer, number two is your developer, number three is your community manager. So you can probably pick up like a part-time job in community building as well. Uh, so yeah, just try and replicate it. There's a lot of material out there. In fact, I put out a lot of community related content on the YouTube as well. So feel free to go through those playlists. Feel free to subscribe to a lot of blogs, right? Uh, so that's what we also do. I mean, in fact, it was not like I did a course in community building. It just came through experience. It just came through reading a lot of content. There's this amazing community called CMX Hub, right? So CMX is wonderful. They have their own podcast, blogs. They do courses as well. So it's a wonderful thing to know because, like I said, community building is part of any startup today, and I'm pretty sure you're all aspiring startup or entrepreneurs as well. So yeah, it's a good skill to have.
Yeah, that's a that's a great tips by Elson Joy. So I would really thank you so much for taking out your time on your busy schedule today and coming out on live and spending some so much time and clearing all our doubts and sharing your journey. That's so inspiring for us as well as insightful for us to build a community in the future. So thank you so much, Elson, and subscribe to EduMoon as well as Elson Joy and join the community of scenes and get a free T-shirt as well as a data science as a free giveaway today. Thank you, Elson.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dave. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you. Bye, guys. Subscribe to the channel, and we are leaving now. Thank you, and join. Don't forget to join the EduMoon scene, and we'll be giving you the free T-shirt giveaway as well as data science today if you join. Just ping me on Instagram. We'll be giving you their data science course. Thank you. Bye. Vikas, are you there? Okay. Whoever have any doubts or something, just uh, put
Yeah,
comments
Mahinder.
in the comment box, or else you can just hold this. Yeah, Vikas.
Yeah, yeah. So can we wrap up?
Hello, Vikas.
Yeah. So is it? Can we wrap up now?
Yeah, we can wrap up.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Bye, guys.